enjoy, or maybe even sink your teeth into. Well, this one's gonna get viral. Zombie attacks aren't all that they seem. So, let's get into our story after the sun sets.
After the sun sets, after 8:10 p.m. This is not normal. It's something that only happens in the movies, so I thought. It started about 11 and a half months ago. A new warning about a virus was spreading, causing people to become infected with what seems to be into zombies. Contraction of the disease is from a bite, a scratch, and the infection then spreads in the body in just a matter of hours. How do I know? I've seen it happen. I always thought movies could get something right, but this time just a small bit. The eyes of these creatures become even more glazed or white, which makes it hard for them to come out during the day. So you see, they come out during the night. At first, they're real fast, but after a week, their body starts to decompose, making them slower and stiff-looking, and also leaving a really bad stench, like rotted flesh. And yes, it's easier to run from them, but their numbers are very high, and from all directions. Yeah, some of the things are right in the movies, like cutting off their heads kill them. Think about that for a moment. If you cut the head off of anything, it would kill it. It all started with one massive explosion, and a bluish-green cloud just covered most of the city. That was about 1,200 miles from here. The cloud moved slowly until it reached the ocean. After that, it just vaporized into just nothing. A few days after the explosion, a few people were feeling ill. The hospital started to fill up. That's where it got interesting and scary at the same time. The first line of people didn't convert into these things until days later. Guess the gas had to turn into a virus to change some DNA. First, some of the folks just went nuts and killed themselves by just walking into the streets, getting hit by cars, buses, or whatever came by. Next, the non-infected folks tried to help those who were infected, only to find themselves getting bitten by them or clawed. After the third week, the strand had already changed tens of thousands of people. Every store, small shop, even 7-Elevens were closed. The government tried to get the word out there to everybody. They used every emergency broadcasting system that they could. Stay where you are, at home, or if you're in a safe location, do not leave. Pandemic is inevitable.
Pandemic level 4. Warning.
I was in my basement, and as long as I had power and the doors held up, I would be just fine. I would watch the news, see reporters and others being attacked by these mindless creatures and become creatures themselves. Once in a while, I would see one or two of them outside the basement window, walking wondrously into the night. But I did notice during the day, none were around. Only from the time the sun starts to go down till the sun starts to rise. But with the exception of a cloudy day, they come out. So sunlight is one way to keep them away. The next thing is, they cannot be tricked. You cannot just roll in the mud and walk around like these things. They have a sense of knowledge. Either you're one of them or food. Almost like they smell you. So far, I've only been out 6 times to gather food and water for myself. I was able to reach a hardware store and grab a small generator, also filled a few 55-gallon drums with gasoline, and make it back to the house with just few of those trips. Cell service is still going, but as for internet and electricity, most of whoever is out there lost that about 6 months ago. I was able to reconstruct my basement into a fortified fortress, also put steel doors up and a platform on the roof. A 10-foot fence around my property, this way I could still have some space to myself. Have a small pickup truck and working on a small camper now, converting it into a traveling fort. Found an old CB radio, which I make contact with a few others that are surviving just like I am. For the longest time, I thought I was the only living person. But no, I have 6 others who are talking to me by radio. They are so frightened by this, they remain on lockdown. Do you blame them? There was 7. One thought he was Rambo and decided to start hunting them for sport. Didn't work out like he planned. When you only got 6 in a chamber and 600 coming at you, well, you get the picture. It's better not to be seen or heard by them. As far as their vision, as I understand, if you are caught outside of their frame of scent, climb a tree fast. Stay there. Vision and sense of smell is very limited. It's more of a noise thing to them. More noise, more of them come around you. Yeah, I know. I said earlier they know if you're one of them or not. Because the living breathe, the dead don't. The living also have heat. To see these things, they are kind of a bluish, in a sense of lack of oxygen. But like I said, after a few weeks, they start to die off. I did see a group of people take bodies and burn them. Guess that wasn't working out. It attracted thousands of them. As long as they don't know I'm here, I'm good. I let my friends know how to do the same things that I've done, and they did. One of them set up a good 8-foot fence, 20 yards around their house, to keep off all the lights and use solar power, and only sleeping in the basement. Hey, I know, it's hard, but when the best move is to just wait it out, take that option. Running around and giving yourself away, thinking you can take them all, it's not gonna work. I've got power, I've got food, and plenty of movies and video games to keep myself occupied. How are you gonna do it?
Make it to the best entrance and barricade any way into the large audience.
Warning, warning. This is an alert. Stay in your homes, do not come out. The threat is pandemic level 4. Warning.
I bet you they got their fill. Come join us on our next episode of After 8:10 p.m.